Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Crystal, and in today's video I'm going to review the little palette from NOVO, and it's called the Smooth Eyeshadow Palette. And this is actually a really cute palette, and it has orange tones inside. I got the palette 01, and at the back you'll see an illustration on how to use this from step 1 to step 4. And on the side, it says, I am eyeshadow, like as if no one knows it yet. So yeah, that's it for the outer box. It shows you the expiration date, which is nice, and mine will expire on January 28, 2024. So this is how the eyeshadow palette looks like inside, and I got the palette number 1, and it has mostly orange tones inside. So if you guys don't know yet, this palette actually has creams, and actually has only one matte color, which is the darkest brown, but the rest of the shades are cream consistency. They're not powder at all. So if you guys are thinking of buying this, just keep in mind that this is not an all powder palette. So as you can see here, I'm pressing the first shade, and you can actually move the product around like as if you're pressing clay. So if I were to compare the texture to something, it reminds me so much of like a clay. So the first shade is this very beautiful light orange color with a shift of gold, and I wouldn't say it's champagne because it really definitely has orange undertone, but it has gold shift. As you can see, it's really obvious that it has gold in it. So I'm just adding the second layer now so you guys can see how well this builds up. And yeah, it's very pigmented, but you can't pick up the creams with a brush. You're definitely gonna have to use your fingers for it. But this color is really nice for like just a wash of color all over your lids. And this next shade is actually like a flamingo pink shade. So it's like an orangey pink, but this one's stunning as well. As you can see, it's really blinding, but it looks really nice for like a pinky or like a peachy makeup look. And it definitely has pink undertone, as you can see, as compared to the first shade. And this also has like a silvery gold shift to it. Actually, all of these colors has a base color and then like a shimmery shift, like a shimmery gold. And then the next one is like, is this like a maroon shade or like a burgundy shade? I'm not really sure, but it's like a dark red or like a dark orange. I can't really explain, but it's nice. Like if you just throw in your transition shade and then apply this all over your lid, you have like your instant glam look. And then the next one is this really light orange shade, almost looks like a cream color once you swatch it. And this one has less shimmers as compared to the other shades, and this one is less creamy than the other shades because it's like a combination of cream and powder. So this is something that you can pick up your brush with. And then this next one is actually one of my favorite shades here. It's like a very vibrant orange shade with a very obvious shift of gold, and it's a very nice shade. I really like it. And of course, this is actually very creamy as well. It's actually the creamiest, two of the creamiest out of all the shades. So as you can see, it's very beautiful. If you like orange eyeshadows, you're definitely going to love this. The next one is actually a dark bronze color with a very slight red or orange undertone, and this one is really shimmery as well, as you can see, and they swatch really well. And the good thing about these is you don't really need a primer because it's already a cream formula, so it already has like an adhesive to it, so there's really no need for a primer. But this color is really nice. It actually goes well with the rest of the shades if you're going to create like an orangey look. And then the next one is actually like a straight up bronze shade or like a darker golden brown, and this is actually my favorite shade for an everyday look. Just like stick it on your eyes for just a wash of gold. It's really nice for every day. Just use it alone or apply a transition shade and apply this all over your lids. It creates a really nice like dewy look on your lids, so I really like that. The next one is actually a really beautiful gold champagne shade, and this is actually the most blinding, most reflective shade out of all of the shades. And this is the last cream eyeshadow that I'm gonna swatch, and this is actually really beautiful. You can put this on your inner corner, on your brow bone, or you can even use this as a highlight. I think it's gonna look really beautiful for that, and it's actually nice. There's a multi-purpose color. You can use this for your lids or a highlight. Maybe you can use this as a lip topper as well if you are trying to be creative. And then this is actually the last shade, and it's a matte brown shade. And it's nice that they threw in a matte shade there because you can't have like all shimmer palette. Plus they are all creams, so that makes it more difficult to use. But this one has like a dark brown shade. You can use this as transition shade, just apply the tiniest amount. But if you want to like smoke up the look, just apply it heavily, just like what I'm gonna do in my makeup tutorial that you're gonna see in a bit. So this is an overview of all of the swatches. So to start the look, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade Sand, and I'm just going to use this as my eyeshadow base. And then I'm going to go in with the darkest brown first. I mean, that's the only brown shade, so yeah, I'm going to use the brown shade. So I had a little bit of difficulty using this because it tends to be patchy once you layer it. But I'm sure there's a right way to use it and a strategy, but I'm gonna have to use this palette a few times to really see how to use this properly. But I'm just blending out the harsh edges now, and I actually like how it looks. And I like that it's not super pigmented because I'm gonna have to build it up. Since it's the only brown shade, I can use it in different ways. I can use it as a transition shade if I apply like feathery strokes, but I can also build it up if I want to smoke up the look, which is nice. But like I said, I had a little bit of difficulty blending it because it has the tendency to look patchy, but it's actually not really a big deal. So for the rest of this step, I'm just applying and just building up the same shade. And I'm also applying this on my lower lash line. And you guys know that lately I love applying a really nice brown on my lower lash line, or any color. Just depends on what makeup look I'm doing. So here you can see that I'm struggling picking up the shade with a brush. So I'm using this very flat synthetic brush, and I barely picked up any, which is a downside because you're gonna want to have a palette that's easy to work with, whether you're using a brush or a sponge tip or your fingers. But in this case, you really need to use your fingers because the brush just won't do its job this time because the shadows really won't stick on the brush. I really don't like it. I haven't tried it on other brushes, but you guys know that for creams, synthetic brushes are the best, but this time it just doesn't stick. This is the type of cream that won't stick on your brush. You definitely need to use your fingers for this to pack on the color. And the downside is I have long nails. So if you have your long nails, you're gonna have problems applying this because you can't really pack on the color well. You're gonna have to like do a couple of layers, whereas if you have short nails, it's gonna be a lot easier. So I'm kind of struggling, like even just picking up the product with my fingers, I'm already struggling. Also, if you guys are wondering, this actually has a very similar consistency and texture as the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadows and also the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter. I have the one in Over the Moon, and for the Super Shock shadow, I have the one in, I think it's Gold Digger, I'm not really sure, but the consistency is very similar. And the Super Shock shadows are 450 each. So they are a bit pricey for just a single eyeshadow. So if you are looking for like a substitute for that, this is something that's very similar. And the good thing about this is you get so many shades as compared to just a single shadow. So if you guys want to get the same effect and same feel as the ColourPop shadows, this is definitely spot on, and I'm very aware, very familiar with the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, so you can trust me when I say they are very similar. So I'm just applying the flamingo shades under the first brown shade that I applied on my lower lashes, and I just want to give it a little bit of dimension because I think it just looks so blank if it's just the brown. So now I'm just highlighting my brow bone with the light orange shade, and it works really perfect for that. It doesn't show up as an orange, it just shows up as a nice like champagne brow bone shade. And it doesn't look like this on the pan, because on the pan it just looks like a light, very, very light orange shade, but it really translates differently on my eyes. Not gonna lie, I'm struggling a bit during this part because I don't know how I'm just going to pick up the product with a brush, but for the inner corner you don't really need to pack it up too much, just as long as you highlight it enough and you have a little bit of shimmer there, it's actually okay. But personally, I want something that is easy to pick up with a brush. I also use the same shade to highlight the center of my eyes because I just feel like it's super flat looking even if I used three colors already, and you can't really tell that I used different colors. So I decided to apply this champagne very reflective shade on my eyes. So this is the finished look with the NOVO eyeshadow palette. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed it, please do like this video and please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.